Hey traders, if you watched my previous video, you'll know that I was in a drawdown. I'm out of that drawdown. I've been able to trade out of it and I'm making money again, which is obviously fantastic. I wanted to create this brief video to let you know that, but also show you how I got out of the drawdown. This video is going to be very brief. I'll get back to creating some more substantial content probably from next week. So in the last video, the account balance was about 3,700. We're currently at 4,000 in cash, so up about £300, and then I have about £500 in floating profit, and there are stop losses in place. Ignore these stop losses here. These are not the actual stop losses, the areas I'm looking to close the trades. So things are much better than they were. How did I do this though? How did I trade out of this mess that I was in? It was the biggest drawdown I've had since starting this live account. Quite simply, I just stuck to my strategy. Okay, I'm not going to end the video there because I actually want to go into detail. I want to go through the trades that I took and how they are doing, the trends I was able to catch. But simply put, I just stuck to my strategy. Most traders, once they're in a drawdown, especially the biggest drawdown they've had since they've started trading, would have given up or would have started placing some bigger bets, doubling up to try and get those profits back, to try and recover their losses. And it just leads to failure. I've proven once again that if you stick to the strategy, as long as your strategy has an edge, then you'll make money again, that you'll recover, and the account balance will climb even higher. So let's have a look at Australian dollar, Swedish krona. This is the one I want to focus on really. It's at 158, but I've taken profit on the trade already. Where it's here is £83 that I took today. I took some profit as well earlier on. Not today, it was a week or go or so. It was about a week ago I took some profit off the table. If I bring up my charts, I went long down here and I've been able to catch this big move up. And the reason why I've taken some profits today is I'm trying to follow these swing lows on the 1 hour. So my stop loss is actually below here, and I don't want this now to reverse and stop me out. So I took some profit up here just in case that happens. But I went long in anticipation of this upside move, which was all based on fundamental analysis, combining fundamental and technical analysis. And I've gone through this so many times in these videos. It really works. And if you want to catch a move like this, look at this move. It was this pin bar here. I bought at this pin bar, caught this big move up. Now I don't want to give off the impression that every trade I take is like this, because it's not. I obviously have losing trades, and sometimes price bounces around a bit before moving up or whatever. But I want to demonstrate the power of this. If you want to catch moves like this, you need to know what moves the markets. And the fundamental analysis behind this trade was it was just an obvious sell. All round, sell the Swedish krona. If we look at inflation, so that's that green line here coming down. If we look at inflation, we've reached the target, which is this red line. So these interest rate hikes coming up. The white line is the interest rate set by the central bank of Sweden. These interest rates that came up, these hikes to try and bring inflation down, has succeeded. So we could see rates now start coming down, reversing these hikes over here. Now on top of that, we have unemployment that's extremely high. We have GDP growth. If you look at all these red lines, that's where it should be. So unemployment is very high. GDP growth, we're negative fairly frequently. We're rarely hitting target. Balance of trade, we're below target. We're into the negative. Retail sales, we're barely touching. The only good thing that's really happening is the PMI figures. So when I look at this on my spreadsheet, it's a double sell. It's an obvious sell. You have a poor performing economy. You have inflation that's under control and rates that are fairly high that can start coming down. It's just a no-brainer that the Central Bank of Sweden is going to start cutting rates. So what happens? The Swedish krona weakens. And that's why we've had this big move here. And it was this setup that got me into the trade based on like this 4-hour bearish channel. That's not drawn quite right. I should have kept the channel on, but there's a bearish channel here. And then that setup was at the channel support area like that. As you can see, price was downtrending. We reached the channel support area. It's where I wanted price to be. I liked the setup, so I took the trade. Now I've also done the same with Euro Swedish krona. It's only £35. I've taken a bit of profit off the table just in case price comes down, because if it stops me out now, I won't be stopped out for the full £50. I'll be stopped out for about £35, which doesn't sound like much, 15 quid. But when you incorporate that into your average loss, then it does make a difference. US dollar, Swedish krona, I'm also long. Let's just have a quick look at those. So Euro, Swedish krona. So this was in anticipation of this 4-hour diagonal resistance. I went long. Wasn't really a setup with this one. It was just an anticipation of the break. So my buy order was pending up here by the 50 SMA. Got triggered into the trade. What I'm looking for now is for the Swedish krona to continue to weaken. So what I want to happen is for price to swing higher here on the 1 hour. So I can move my stop loss below this swing low, lock in some profit, and potentially just follow a trend. That's the same price action with US dollar, Swedish krona. We've had a nice retrace move here. Price and swing higher. I'll be moving my stop loss below here. My entry, once again, in anticipation of this 4-hour diagonal resistance. My buy order, the arrow's down here to identify the candle, but my buy order is actually above the candle here. So got into that trade hoping for a swing higher. Now in the previous video I did have an Australian dollar Swiss franc long position open, which is this position at the top here, £136. That's actually around £300 because I've taken some profit off the table. And once again, this is a trend that I've been able to catch based on the combination of fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So Australian dollar Swiss franc, I went long down here. Once again, diagonal resistance. I anticipated the break because I'm expecting Australian dollar strength. Got triggered into the trade and I've just followed this all the way up. And there's a positive swap rate holding this pair, so I went long down here. I've been able to follow this trend all on the 1 hour. Now I'm not making this up. Obviously you got the trade here. You got my entry price. Is that 56.40? So down here, 56.40. So my entry's here. And then I'm just following the stop loss below the swing lows. Anyone in my trading room, this is not to promote my trading room, but just to add transparency. Anyone in my trading room has been tracking these trades with me. I enter the trade and let them know, and I talk about the trade at least once a week to give them an update. And as long as this keeps up trending, and we are stalling now, so it could be that price actually ranges, but my stop loss is down here, so it might be okay. You know, we might see a range like this, and then price might break above or below. You know, we'll wait and see what happens. But I'm out of the drawdown. That's what this video is about. I'm sticking to the strategy, I stick to the rules, and look what happens. It's not easy. I don't want to suggest at all that it's easy. But it is simple. You have a strategy that works and you just stick to the rules. I don't know how more clear and simple I can make that. If you're not using fundamental analysis, then please do. Combine it with your technical analysis. It does not take away from the technical analysis. I love price action. I study the charts. I love support and resistance. I love Japanese candlestick setups. But if you want those things to have a much higher win rate, if you want those setups, those patterns to actually work, then you need to combine it with fundamental analysis. And once again, you're still going to take losses. I have losses, consecutive losses. That's why I was in a drawdown. But long term, it works really well. Okay, so that's enough from me. Just a brief update with how the account is doing. It is NFP on Friday. This coming Friday, it's going to move all of these pairs, so things might look quite different. It could be that this account actually goes down to 4,300 or something like that. Could be that it climbs even higher. But I have those stop losses in place to help me recover from that drawdown if things now turn sour. Any questions, let me know. And I'll speak to you in another video.